Hi, Lou Martin.
Hi, Ingrid. Hello. How you
Hello,
doing?
darling.
Hello,
I'm
darling.
great. Hi.
Hello, California.
Hi from California. Yeah, we're doing good.
Yes,
Our
yes,
dance,
yes,
little morning dance.
yes.
Hey, shall I ground us in and pass it over to you to do a prayer?
Do
Do our
let's do our thing and open the space for all our little bunny rabbits who want to join in the party here.
Yeah, do that. Okay.
Okay.
Let's close our eyes. Let's take a few deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel the energy pool in your root chakra. Maybe it'll feel warm or tingly, or you'll just be aware that it's happening. On your next inhale, take a deep breath in and pull the energy from your root into your heart. Exhale and hold the energy in your heart. Inhale and pull the energy from your heart into your crown. Exhale and hold the energy in your crown. Inhale and pull the energy out of your body. Feel it connect with divine source energy. And with the out breath, pull that energy back into your body and into your heart. Breathe in and hold the energy in your heart. Breathe out and pull the energy down to your root. Breathe in and hold the energy in your root. Breathe out and push the energy down your legs and into your feet. Breathe in and hold the energy in your feet. Breathe out and push the energy into the earth. Feel that energy hook in with the earth's core. Take a deep breath in and pull it back up towards your feet. Exhale. Inhale and feel the energy hit the soles of your feet and move up your legs and pool again in the root chakra. And exhale into your root chakra. Okay, beautiful Lou, over to you.
Thank you, sweetheart. So let's take another breath. So I'm inspired just to do the St. Francis prayer here with everyone. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is sorrow, joy. Where there is darkness, light. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are forgiven. And it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Father, Mother God, we give thanks for this time, for all the blessings, and for everyone gathered here in your name and your nature. We let it be. It is so, so it is. And together we say, Amen.
Amen. Beautiful. Thank you, Lou.
Sure. The old standbys.
The old standby. No, that was beautiful. It's perfect. I love that. God, make me an instrument of your will. That's sort of the variation I try and use every day. And I did this morning, which was place me where you need me, God. Place me where you need me.
Yes.
It's like the most important thing in the world right now is to be able to show up and be the divine will.
Yeah. Get out of our own way.
Get out of our own way. Amen.
Yeah.
You were going to talk about something that's like lit me up, but you were going to talk about the divine feminine.
Sure. That's lovely. I'm doing, I did a channeling last weekend, which went very well, about the Lion's Gate. And that's on my page if people want to take a look at that. And so I'm putting out to do another one tomorrow night, same time, 9 p.m. UK time. And, as a guy walking this path, yes, for all this time, 33 little years now. I'm actually a month away from turning 64, so that's exciting as of yesterday. Yeah. Yes, that feels quite.
Will you still feed me?
That's it. That's the one.
Oh,
That's right.
congratulations.
That's right.
That's a long
Thank
time
you. Thank you.
transplanted. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, still in the game. That's my motto.
You're awesome.
Um,
Especially
yeah,
not that
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I've had to learn a lot from the women in my life. I want to say, in plain English here, and you've certainly been one of my bestest buddies and favorite teachers and dearest friends. And I want to thank you for all your guidance and your wisdom and your inspiration and your lessons. And there's so much that we as guys don't know or don't believe in or don't trust or don't take seriously.
Hmm.
And, we're obviously seeing, as we've talked many times, this cosmic shift is happening in our world and in our lives. It's not personal. It's not just global. It's absolutely universal and cosmic. And it really does have to do with humanity coming back into its heart, which is the emotions are the feminine, the mind is the masculine in general terms. So, we're saying here how intense Lionsgate was for each of us in our own ways. Great stuff happened as well and is happening, and we're grateful for that. I am. But yeah, there have been a lot of explosions, in my little life, and I see it out in the world, of course. That whole explosion that happened in Beirut, a week or so ago, was quite interestingly timed. Bless the people of Beirut. I saw a beautiful film yesterday of the young people rebuilding Beirut, and that was quite inspiring. But again, it's the women and the children and the men with the open hearts are being called to be this bridge of compassion in this time.
Yeah.
And it's not a natural thing. It takes real humility and a lot of surrender into the unknown to find our way with that. So when we channel, as we know, we get a lot of help from spirit, and we get out of our own way, as we were just saying, and more love, more compassion, more wisdom comes through, and that's what we're both so grateful for, and I'm excited to explore in this powerful time, in this life-changing years, how to connect all of us more deeply to trusting our inner guidance, particularly our emotions.
Yeah. That's big.
Yep.
So you're going to do channeling on that. When did you say you're going to do channeling on that?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Okay. On the Martin Spiritual Channel page?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. Brilliant. Live channel. Fun. We never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, totally. It's always a surprise, and that's the joy of it. And that's surrendering into the mystery, which is inherently feminine, I would say, as well.
Yeah. I feel so grateful for the men in my world showing up and surrendering to the divine feminine like that, and really in that way embodying the sacred masculine that makes the world feel so, it makes it feel so safe, so supported, so loved. And I want you big props and kudos for the way you show up, in your own feminine energy, but in showing up and surrendering and opening yourself up to that feminine energy, you become so solid in your masculine energy. And It just, the rest of us women who are so blessed to be connected with you and held by you, it makes us feel so safe. So
thank you. Thank you.
It's huge to have men like you in the world to support the feminine as the feminine really finds its footing and rises up into sovereignty.
Thank you, honey. It's it's really being in the moment,
yes.
and being as vulnerable and honest and authentic and naked as possible, and that keeps requiring surrender.
Yes. Every moment. Oh, here we go again. We're falling into it. Okay.
Yeah. Weep.
Yeah. That's gorgeous. Yeah. You mentioned you brought up compassion, staying in compassion, and that brought up something for me that I'd like to feel into with you. And I also want to put out there that I put in the description here, but we are taking questions today, me and Lou.
Yes, please.
If you have anything you want us to feel into, if you want to understand something better, we are here and ready and available to answer your questions for the next 20 minutes or so. But in the meantime, compassion is a big one that has come up for me this week that I'd like to talk about more.
Sure.
You know, there's a lot of drama in the world. You know, you're talking about the divine feminine rising up and taking her rightful place in the world. And this is resulting in the wounded inner masculine energy and all of us throwing a fit, you know. And so what we have a lot of drama and division, and I'm right, you're wrong, a lot of mental sparring, and violence, you know. In our town, in my tiny little town, we had like a little riot, you know. Or we had some peaceful protesters, BLM protesters, and then we had the other side show up in like big black trucks with American flags and go like get physical with these protesters, like pushing them off bicycles and like spitting in their face. And it was gnarly. And, you know, you see this kind of thing show up, and it can be easy to get into that energy, that sort of divisiveness, and that this is wrong. And, you know, I'm of the camp that like, that's not okay at all. But you know, this is coming up because we are entering this really beautiful new energy, and the feminine is showing up to be in her sovereignty, that feminine energy within each of us, and, you know, in the world. And so the intensity ramps up as the wounded ego part of us hangs on for dear life. It's just hanging on for dear life because the ego doesn't like expansion. It's scared of it. It's really trying to protect us from too much exposure. And it results from a wounded place of that kind of thing. And this is my tiny little town. So what's happening in the bigger cities, you know, where there's more people and sort of more of that. So, and, you know, on Facebook and on social media, you're seeing a lot of like, you know, very stark contrasting opinions about masks and whether the virus is real and whether, you know, Black Lives Matter or all lives matter, or, you know, whatever the latest, you know, big upheaval is. And what I just really came to, especially yesterday, you know, what I really came to within myself is the most important thing is to stay in compassion. And like Buddha said, keep the middle way, the middle path. Have extremes over here and extremes over here. My feeling is probably neither of those extremes are quite right. It's something in the middle, and just stay open, you know, stay true to your truth and what you feel is correct. Like, you know, if you have an opinion about masks, like I will not wear masks. Okay, well, that you get to be true to that. But can't we stay in compassion for another person's lived experience? The other person said, I really feel I need to wear a mask for my safety, or I have, you know, wherever we can, injecting that compassion out into the world feels like such a big deal to me. And I feel like that's where you're coming from as well, where you're coming to with the speaking up and channeling the feminine.
Yeah. That's well said. Yeah, hon. The other thing, this relates to what you're just saying there. The other thing I'm put out over the weekend, just today, after a conversation with another friend here, is grief. You know, you know, we've all, you know, the last 6 months, everyone has been traumatized. And if we haven't lost our job or our family or our friend or our mom or dad or someone personally in our life that's people are coping with in that way, which a lot of people are, then we've lost the idea we all had of our future. You know, and the future that we were living 6 months ago has disappeared, you know. So that's all these sources of grief. So like you're saying, you know, you've heard me say, you know, that for my guides, men are allowed to be angry but can't be sad, and women are allowed to be sad but can't be angry. And so, you know, as I love what you're saying about compassion, Ingrid, and the Buddhist middle path, and, you know, being the peacemaker. Maybe that's part of why that popped up here today. You know, we're both sharing some dramas in our own personal lives that we've been managing, and you know, it's you know, what can I say? I'm working my way through Patricia's book, The Bigger Picture, right now. Patricia Cota-Robles, And basically what she says in there is, as we have also talked about, that whatever has been disowned, denied from this and other lifetimes energetically, all of that in these new vibrations is kind of coming up for air, and being released and being cleared. I loved your post, by the way, honey, of the ego this week. You're saying some great stuff. I'm going, yeah, Ingrid, yeah. So, and this was actually the conversation I had with my housemate here, as a deep spiritual teacher as well. So, it's just, can we let go of our attachment and our resistance? And as you say, can we have that compassion for other people's pain and fear without losing our center? That seems to be very much the practice that we're moving into.
Yeah. And to me, that feels like the ultimate coming together of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Is the masculine is really good at holding that center, at being so strong. The feminine is that emotional energy, that compassion, that ability to move out and cover everything. So the marriage of these two energies, we are really moving into fully experience and embody on our planet. And what Spirit showed me is it's not just our planet, it's actually originating from our planet, because we are that special. Humans really are that special. We have the Buddha inside of us, is what they say to me. And that makes us really special. And so this paradigm shift is originating on our planet, but it's pulsating. The new energy is pulsating out into the universe. Our universe is our dimension, our sliver of creation that we are here to experience and here to express the divine through. So it's a really big deal what's going on. And it is the marriage of the masculine and the feminine, holding your center while having unending and unconditional compassion for everyone's lived experience. And that doesn't have to mean you change your lived experience or your experience doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that at all.
Sure. That's right. That's beautifully said, hon. And the thing is, we're shifting out of our unconscious dependency on our materialistic worldview and living from the outside in, from status and things and achievement, to I'm okay now, to living from the inside out, which again is the more feminine way. This is what I'm about. This is what I believe. This is what I'm asking for, inviting, etc., etc. And that's my guides say the divine feminine is magnetic and irresistible. That essence energy, like you're saying, there is the root and source of all creation, all life, everywhere.
Yes.
And then the masculine wants to respect that and love that and honor that and protect that, you see.
Yes. My guides told me something very similar. The way they put it to me is the feminine is here to shine and the masculine is here to support that energy. It is the masculine destiny or purpose in life to support the shining of the divine feminine.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And women know this, of course, that so much of women's relationships in themselves, I'm going to make a sweeping generalization here, forgive me, in relationship are about the strength of the relationship, whereas men are a lot more given a lot more license to be more egotistic and more self-focused or self-centered or whatever, and think, well, we're making the way in the world for the family and she's supporting me to help do that and I support her that way. But, all that is topsy-turvy now. And of course, young women in their 20s and 30s, I see a lot of younger women right now just, absolutely exploding into their power.
Yes.
Not waiting for anything or anyone, just really taking it in both hands, taking life in both hands and declaring what they're about and with such clarity. So, this shift is just only going to deepen. It's only going to expand. It's only going to become more pronounced.
Yes.
Which is very enlightening, that we don't have to live from the outside in. We can live from the inside out. But as we've said, if we haven't done the inner work, if we haven't done our shadow work, if we haven't made amends and been forgiven and, asked for compassion and healed our relationship to our inner child and ourself, then that becomes a lot more intense right now, a lot more confronting and a lot more frightening for people who've never done this.
Yeah. I love that you bring that up because, as spiritual types, people who have been on the path, who are doing the work, we're not immune to the trauma and the stories that show up and the way that we slip into that divisive thinking and divisive behavior, and where we start to judge other people and their lived experience. We see it all the time. But to recognize that and to come back home and to ourselves and understand, hey, the people who are really in it, who are really behaving badly, this is hard for them because they have not willingly walked into the fire like we have. They have not gone in to do that spiritual work and made that commitment. And yet that work is happening. They are being cleansed and cleared because they are in this world, because they're on this planet. And as they choose to stay on this planet and in this paradigm, in this new paradigm, that clearing will take place. And it's rough. So the more we can, I'm going to come back to hold compassion for people who are maybe behaving a little crazy in our view, or, really high in the drama, hold space and compassion, knowing that, hey, didn't we all go through that too? When we started to step into our work and our stuff came up and blah, all over. Just because we walked in, from a different place and maybe wanted it or we're willing, it doesn't really make it, it's not really different.
No, not at all. The student and the teacher are totally interchangeable, and everyone on this planet is going through these initiations, and those that are inspiring to others are inspiring because we've learned that there is a process, there is a path, there is a method to this madness, there is a light at the end of the tunnel that's worth our faith and our hard work and our surrender to it.
Yes. Yeah. So, once again, anybody who's watching, we are taking questions for the next 10 minutes or so while we're still on. If you have any questions about what we're talking about or anything going on in your life, we are happy to feel into that and give you any clarity and guidance that you're looking for today.
Sure. It's kind of a pause right now, having gone through the fire of last weekend.
Yeah.
It feels to me. Does it to you? Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good with that.
Yeah. Well, I'm asking if it feels that way, because it does feel that way to me, that things are, there's like an energetic pause happening.
Yeah. Carolyn has a really good question. She says, does the clearance need to be rough?
Carolyn is one of my friends here in Ireland from the north. Carolyn, bless you.
I'm happy to connect with her as well. Gorgeous. Yeah, go ahead, Lou.
Oh, great. Yeah, sure. Sorry. Well, okay, I'll go first, then I want to hear you. So Carolyn, yes, it's rough in our resistance. Yes. That's what's rough. Mm-hmm. The moment we surrender our will to God, as Ingrid said earlier, that we're all learning to do every day, the easier it becomes, because once we've declared that we're totally cooperative with God's will in our life, then things smooth out. Yeah.
Yes. And that is really the answer I was going to give too, is when we're fighting when we're in resistance, it's rough. And that's why you can see people who are not consciously going into this clearing, the spiritual fire, are having such a rough time because they're fighting it, because they don't know what the heck is going on, so it's really extra rough for them because they haven't found that point of surrender yet. Hell, I mean, I haven't found that point of surrender yet, like 60% of the time, it's practice, constant practice to get into surrender. But those moments when we have surrender, it becomes very easy. And then you're simply living an experience. And when you're letting yourself live whatever experience is showing up for you, then not only does it get easy, it gets fun. It gets beautiful. It gets really interesting.
The grace begins to show up, the synchronicities.
Things start to work out. The practice of surrender is paramount. Right. Thank you for the question, Carolyn. That was really good.
Yeah. I mean, my guides say feelings are a surrender, trust is a surrender, faith is a surrender. Everything that we cannot see or know, in the present moment is some form of surrender.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've talked about how crisis confronts us and challenges us and demands some form of resolution and demands that we take responsibility for ourselves as spiritual adults at some time. And but we're not to do it alone. That's the paradox. The crisis, the nature of the crisis, like with COVID, is, you know, this is still a big freaking problem for everyone. And it's been a big freaking problem for a long time now. And we're kind of tired of it, everybody.
Yeah.
So we need to kind of deepen the practice of there is an answer to this and we're willing to find it now.
Yeah, we're willing to let it reveal itself. We just have to reveal itself. Yeah.
Well said. Better said.
Our Baba Babe Charlotte has a good question. She says, how does one know when karmic energy is done?
Brilliant.
That is brilliant. You know, well, so I'll kick off with that one.
Charlotte,
to me,
I'm sure my answer will be similar to yours. Go right ahead.
To me, when I feel into this, I actually feel like you're going to feel it. I feel it in the chest. I feel it in the heart. I feel like when you release karmic energy, whether it's a karmic entanglement with another person, which often always involves other people, doesn't it? You know, or even an experience or an emotion, you know, karmic entanglement with an emotion. You know, something that comes up is people can carry a lot of guilt, like from past lives and carry into this life or, you know, whatever it is. Well, you know when it's done because there's literally like a disconnection from the heart. Like you feel it disconnect from your heart, and not in a bad way, not in a lost kind of a way, in a relieving kind of a way is what it feels like to me. You really feel it in your chest and your heart when that karmic energy is done. And again, I'm going to come back to what we're talking about with the surrender. What Spirit is telling me now is if you want to move through your karmic backlog more quickly, get into surrender. When you surrender, then life will take you through all of the emotions and the experiences that you need to have with other people in order to disconnect that karmic backlog, to disconnect the karmic cords. So it is all about the practice of surrender and faith. And the other thing I want to say is, you know, I want to acknowledge that faith takes courage. It takes courage to have faith. And you've got it in spades, darling. So that's what comes to me when you want to know when karmic energy is done. What do you got, Lou?
Yeah, honey, that was gorgeous. And Charlotte, hi, my friend. Nice to reconnect with you here. Peace, as you said. You know, when we come back to peace, then it's done. And of course, our old friend Ho'oponopono, or the happy pony. I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Thank you. You know, whether we say that for and about another person or the situation or ourselves, when we say that, we're softening, opening, and deepening our heart. And, you know, the karma is often about, like you're saying about the fist fight in Nevada City there, wild. You know, being right and being wrong. You know, you're not on my side. You're not on my team. You're taking something from me. You're threatening me with something. You're being unconscious. You're being unkind. All these judgments over masks and no masks and all the rest of it, and or black and white, or, you know, are more white people shot by the police, or, you know, does that even matter? Give us a break here, everybody. So coming back to peace. You know, brings us back to the resolution. When we come to peace, that's how we know we've done the work.
Yes, beautiful. I love that.
Thank you.
Kathy has a good comment. Kathy's another Baba Babe. Ready or not, the planet has us all doing shadow work. You know, that puts the craziness into perspective. Well said, Kathy. That's it. That sums it up. The whole planet is doing shadow work, whether they like it or not. Because in order to live in this new earth, that stuff needs to be purged. That needs to be brought up and reviewed, felt through, and released once and for all. That is a very intense process, and it's even more intense when you're not prepared for it. Right?
Right. And as we're saying, Ingrid, that's great, Kathy, absolutely. You know, the more compassion we have for ourselves, the more mercy we have for ourselves. You know, I mean, you and I know, you know, in all the sessions, you know, we're all our own worst enemy, and no one's harder on us than we are. Mm-hmm. And the moment we start, you know, inviting people to let that go and see it differently, and, you know, forgive and take responsibility without guilt, shame, or blame being the substitute for that, then people start to come back to themselves and feel worthy and confident and courageous and deserving of resolution, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So, you know, these are simple things, But like we're saying, in the fire of these times, in the intensity and the intensification of these times, it's easy to go sliding down the hill before you know it. So it's very important that we all do everything we can to pray for the planet, for each other, for ourselves, for our health, our home, our happiness, our security, etc., and give ourselves to God and say, okay, I'll dance with whatever shows up today. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I love that. I'll dance with whatever shows up today. That's going into my morning prayers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before, and now I hear you say it again. I'm like, I love that. Yeah, good insight, Kathy. Good comment. Absolutely. We have one more question. It looks like from Carolyn again. She's got another winner. Do we attract dark when we seek light?
Me or you?
I have things to say about that.
I'm sure you do. You go right ahead. Don't let me stop you. I'll take a breath. Yeah.
Carolyn,
I could talk about this all day just like you could. Go on.
Yeah. This is okay. All right. Carolyn, my love. So like attracts like. So when we are seeking the light, when we are showing up in the light, we're going to attract a whole lot of light. When darkness shows up, when we're seeking the light, we can feel confused because we're like, hey, I'm in the light. And so we tend to tell ourselves this story that, well, they're drawn to my light, or I'm attracting darkness because I'm so light and bright. But the truth still remains that like attracts like. That's the law of attraction. That's the basis of our universe. So, but that doesn't mean that you are dark just because you are attracting dark. What it means is there's little pieces of stuck energy in your being, in your aura, in your body. And when you're attracting something dark to you, it's serving the light by trying to ferret out that stuck energy so that you can heal it and release it once and for all.
Right.
That's how I see it.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. I mean, the quote from the Bible is, the darkness and the light are both alike to me, saith the Lord. And so we need cold in order to appreciate hot. We need dark to find light. This is a world of duality and contrast. Absolutely. The tricky bit, which is what we're all working on right now, to come back to the divine feminine and to see ourselves as perfect, whole, and complete, sacred, loved, supported, guided, guarded, protected, etc., by a loving higher power, is that we look at our own darkness.
Yes.
You know, and we take responsibility for our own darkness. And that is where I find the courage to, you know, speak to other people's darkness or to dance with it when it shows up or whatever. And, you know, of course, I mean, fear and darkness and anger, hatred, all of that, you know, feel trouble is the other simple way to remember it. You know, everything that feels bad is basically of the darkness in some form or fashion, to my mind. And everything that feels good is of the light in some way. And, you know, Abraham says, so when you feel bad, take that as wonderful feedback, because who you are is not bad. Who you are does not feel bad. Who you are is source, and it feels great about being source.
Yeah.
So, you know, come back into the light and don't take it so personally is the other secret, I think, you know.
Yes, that is. Yeah. It's not about you. It's the darkness. The darkness is not who you are. Also, remember that I love what, you know, the darkness is the light. The light is the darkness. It's all experience. It's all divine experience.
Right.
Labeling things is good and bad, but they're not good and bad. It's all serving us. So whatever dark we attract, whatever negativity, whatever difficult experiences we're attracting is all serving to uncover the truth of who we are.
Right. Yes. Can I say one other thing, sweetie? Yeah. So I'm also hearing the Marianne Williamson quote, which we all know, which is, she says, it was given to Nelson Mandela, but she actually is the one who coined it. She said, it's not our darkness that we're afraid of. It is our light that we're most afraid of. Yes. And you see, the darkness of this time is inviting, challenging, and requiring that we find our light in order to find our vision for the future, in order to create that future, in order to be in a world without karma and fear. Yeah. In order to be in a world. Lazarus said to us one time, yes, the world is about free will, but you could be choosing between happiness and joy rather than happiness and sorrow. It's entirely up to you.
Right. That's great. I love that.
Me too.
Beautiful, Lou. How do you feel?
I'm ready for whatever's next, my friend, including saying goodbye to you and flying away, whatever's on the
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really complete. I really love the questions we got today, and I want to keep this. I think that's really cool to be able to answer them. Thank you, Carolyn and Charlotte, Kathy, for jumping on and chiming in and asking questions. Those are always welcome. Lou, why don't you tell my people where they can find you, and I'll tell your people where they can find me.
Thank you very much, Ingrid. Bless you. Yes. So my Facebook page is Lightheart 2012 or just Lou Martin. You should find me either way. And my interview YouTube, where I post these and other great interviews that I do during the week, is called Awakened Spirits Network. There you go. That's my girl. Thank you, darling. And that's also the name of the Facebook page for Teachers and Teachings. And my greatest joy is doing groups and one-to-one sessions with people so we can get out of our own way, everyone. That's me. Yeah.
Awesome. Yes. So thanks for watching this on my page. We were so clever. We went live on both pages today. So
good for us.
You're watching Lou on my page and you're not familiar with him and you'd like to follow him around, please go do that because he is such a stellar human. I've had the absolute pleasure to work with him for the last few years now. And he's just one of my favorite people, and you can see why after watching today. So
thank you, honey. Likewise. Love you madly. Where can we find you, Ingrid?
So I am at Ingrid H. Turner on Facebook, so you can just search for me there. My personal website is ingridhturner.com. You can read more about me and what I do. Also, the Bava Spiritual Mission, bavamission.org. That's the not-for-profit organization. You heard me reference a couple of Bava babes on here today is what we call them. And this is my organization. My organization. It's not really mine. It's ours. The organization that aims to help people connect with the infinite and take their message out into the world, build their own platform. That's the goal for the Bava Mission. So those are the two places you can find me, and my name there. Just search for Ingrid H. Turner on Facebook. Give me a like and a follow, and you'll be notified when we go live.
Brilliant. Thank you, honey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lou. Thank you, everybody, for jumping on. Loving y'all madly.
Peace. Love
and tofu. Bye.